Hey guys, thank you so much for 100K. We've gotten a lot more support recently, and we just wanted to thank everyone for watching and supporting our videos. As promised, we gave you guys a chance to ask anything you wanted to know about us or the channel. As some of the questions are focused on the editing or research aspect of the process, the channel owner is here to answer some of them. I'll ask the questions and you'll hear him respond. Question 1. What initially made you start YouTube, and why did the content change to mini docs?
So, if you guys don't know, this channel used to be a trick shot channel back in 2016. Back then, water bottle flips were really popular, so I used to make water bottle flip trick shots, which then kind of morphed into marker flips, pencil flips, and just really anything that was flippable. But with that type of content, it's really easy to run out of ideas, and by 2019, I'd kind of given up. But then COVID hit and everybody was at home, and I'd kind of gotten really bored and I'd wanted to revive my channel with a different type of content. And at the time, I was really interested in documentary style or video essay type videos. So I taught myself After Effects and Premiere Pro, made the switch, and here we are.
If you ever decided to switch the content from what it is now to something else, what would it be? I know my brother wouldn't change anything, but I've always enjoyed listening to scary stories on YouTube, so if I had my own channel, I'd love to tell ghost stories, but I think I'd have to sound a lot more like Corpse to make that work. Otherwise, narrating audiobooks would be fun too. Do you work alone or in pairs or groups for research and editing the video?
After I made the switch from trick shots to this, I needed a narrator to voice my videos, which I asked my sister to do. So in terms of research, script writing, video editing, I mostly do that alone, and my sister does the voiceover and sometimes reviews and edits the script.
How do you go about choosing a topic?
When I finish a video and need to find another one, I usually go searching around the internet, TikTok, my YouTube comments, Reddit, Wikipedia, for anything that really intrigues me in cases I think would make a good video. That being said, I tend to avoid cases that are too graphic or upsetting to make a video on. Some have no footage or photos related to them, and some just have too little information. There's been times that I come across a case 2 or 3 times before I actually give it a chance, maybe because new information or footage of some kind has come out. Sometimes I even start the script for a video, but lose interest, only to find it later and continue working on it.
I wanted to ask, for example in the case of the Noida double murder, if it was hard for you to find information in another language.
It really depends on the language. For example, in the case of the Noida video, which was Hindi/Urdu, my mom actually helped me out with that. She speaks a couple of languages, so I got her to translate most of the footage on that video. But for other videos like the Dupont de Ligonnès one, me and my sister actually speak French and we can understand it pretty well, so for that video we could translate it ourselves. For other languages that we don't speak, like the Om Shinrikyo occult video, which was Japanese, Google Translate was a really helpful tool. Of course, not to get exact translations, but to get a general sense of what an article, for example, was about. So overall, I'd say that while it is obviously harder to research cases in different languages, there's still tools to help us get around that language barrier.
What's your favorite topic in your videos? There's no favorite topic for me since this is crime and murder and it all gets very heavy sometimes, but I've always found that cases that have a big media circus attached to them to be the most interesting. It's always interesting to see how the public and the media can make or break a case, or lead it in the right or wrong directions. How often do you watch or get inspired by videos like yours, for example Lamino or BuzzFeed Unsolved?
If I had to list my inspirations for the videos that I make now, it would be Lamino, Disrupt, Nexpo, Nick Crowley, Rainbot, and really all the staples of the true crime genre on YouTube. But also other channels that do general video essay style videos like Emplemon, Dodford, Solar Sands, and Jay Aubrey. Really any channel that brings a new style of content.
How much time do you spend making your videos?
Usually, a normal video takes around a month to make. The first step is research and script writing, which takes the longest, usually around 2 to 3 weeks depending on how much information there is and how deep I want to go into the case. Then comes the voiceover and narration, which we usually take 1 day to do, because doing it on separate days, as I've seen before, can make the audio sound different. The third and final step is video editing, which is usually done in 1 week. I animate all my clips in After Effects and then cut it all together in Premiere Pro.
Is there a video topic that you wanted to do and were most excited about?
I was definitely excited to upload the Zodiac video since we had just had our first big jump in views at around that time, so I was excited to put out a new video and see how people liked it. It was also one of our longest videos and we put a huge amount of effort into it.
I was also excited about putting out the Zodiac video since I've always been interested in that case. I actually own Robert Graysmith's book Zodiac, and I thought the case was really interesting, so I was excited to work on that video and put it out. Other than that, I was most excited about the Noida video since that was our first video in about 9 months, and I was excited to remind people that we were not actually gone, just busy. Do you prefer researching/learning about unsolved or solved cases? Why?
I definitely prefer researching unsolved cases because of the mystique of it all. It's interesting to read all the theories and evidence after reading a case that makes absolutely no sense, like the Trump family disappearance or the disappearance of Natalee Holloway. It's also more fun to make videos about unsolved cases because, in my opinion, they leave more of an impact on the viewer.
Does reading all of these true crime stories affect your mental health?
For the most part, I think I'm good at keeping the videos and cases separate from my personal life and mental health. That being said, some videos require a lot of time. Such was the case of the Bjork stalker, where I needed to watch more than 15 hours of Ricardo Lopez talking about his life and his plans, which was draining and really brought my mood down whenever I would watch it. But after I finished the video, it didn't seem to affect me a whole lot, which is the case for most videos. I'm invested while I'm making them, and then after, they fade in my mind.
On my end, I always try to keep boundaries with what I'm willing to look at and talk about and what I'm not. Like, I really don't enjoy reading the gritty details about a murder scene because in the end, this was a person, and it's really important not to desensitize yourself to human suffering. How do you narrate the videos/talk so smoothly? I think this was really dependent on the equipment we would use and the way we would record. At first, I used to record the narration in the Voice Memos app on an iPhone, so I'd sit in a closet and hold the phone speaker up to my mouth, so it's safe to say our audio quality was pretty bad. But later on, we got a proper mic and recording software, so the audio is much better now. What are your plans for the future? Maybe some series-style content?
We're always changing and adapting our style, but I've been thinking I could make shorts rather than long-form video for cases that don't have enough content or information to make a full video.
Do you watch horror movies, and which one is your favorite?
No, we don't really like watching horror movies a whole lot, but we are avid movie fans.
What are the primary things you use to find sources?
Google, books, articles, really anything that I can find. For some cases like the Unabomber or Hinterkaifeck videos, there are extensive and thorough archives that I was lucky enough to come across. What I find most helpful to get a sense of the bigger picture, though, is going through the case chronologically, reading articles or newspapers from when the event happened, and following the media as the case unfolded.
Of all the unsolved cases from the last 50 years, which one is most likely to be solved? On the other hand, is there a case you believe will never be solved? From what we've seen about how cases play out, personally, I think the Murdaugh case is something that we haven't seen the last of because although the case has technically been solved, there are still so many details that are unclear, so I think we'll get more information on this case as time goes on. Other than that, I also think the Natalee Holloway case is one that will hopefully be solved soon, since personally, I believe that Joran definitely knows something that he's not revealed yet, and if anyone knows what happened to Natalee, it would be him. In terms of a case that I think might never be solved, personally, I think the Zodiac might be one of these cases, because the main suspects are dead, and the likelihood of finding new evidence is very low. I have my beliefs on who I think may have did it, but I honestly think we will never know for sure. Thank you guys for your questions, and we appreciate all the support you've given us. We're hoping to put a new video out very soon.